Hello, this is the RC bench, and I wanted to show you something I've been working on. A lot of people getting into these anti-foams, and I'm just getting into crawling. So I like to design parts, so I'm trying to make some of my own. This is a prototype TPU 95 A durometer. This is not what I put into one of these tires, but it's similar. I actually switched this large groove and this small groove. I switched places, and I took out this solid section, and it just has spokes. I think there's like 24 spokes. When I get the other one printed, I will show it. But this one's a little stiff. You know, when a wheel is in it, you know, it seems to do kind of what you want it to do. But when it's in the tire, this particular design is a little stiff. So we'll get onto I have one installed, and I can show you. Where is it? It's over here. So this is the empty tire, and these are like Trail Grappler MTs, Nito from like I presume a Axial kit, whatever kit comes with these types of D-locks. I'm not sure which one it was, but I just bought them on Amazon. So this is the tire with nothing in it. It's pretty, you know, it seems like a decent tire. It's, you know, not gonna set the world on fire, but it's decent. I vented them, so when you squeeze them, they breathe like that. So I designed these inserts to fit these wheels that I get on Amazon or eBay. I don't know who makes them, but they measure about 21 millimeters across. So that's what I made the taper, the cone start at inside this guy. I think I made them 35 millimeters. Yeah, this is 35 millimeters wide. I'll get into the dimensions later when I get a actual foam I can show you, because right now I only have the one in here. So here is a tire with a conventional foam. You can probably tell it does that sort of stuff that you don't want, right? Side hilling, no good. It's pretty soft. But you know, this way it's okay. Still feels a little firm, and these are with single stage foams, whatever they came with. Let me get one. It's this type of foam. You know, it's not the softest foam, but it's not the hardest either. It's kind of middle. But like I said, you can do this, you know, and they kind of, this is hard to see, but you can see that it's bending. So here's the one with the newer anti-foam design that I just printed, and you can see I think it's easier, almost, it's very close. It's easier to kind of get an initial squeeze compression on it. It does have a couple stages inside, so you're only going to be able to go so far. Compared to this one, it's pretty similar, but I think it's a little more supple. And then, you know, when you try to flex it, it's a lot more stable. Even if you push in the middle, right? It does have a little bit of flex, but it's not like this, right? It's not doing this, which is exactly what you don't want. It's like Play-Doh, you know. So we have this guy. Still feels pretty soft. You know, I'm almost thinking it's a little softer radially. Yeah, definitely It definitely is, and this is subjective, but I don't think I'm lying to myself. Anyway, so if you put some weight, my arm, you can, let's see, here's the one with the foam. This is definitely stiff comparatively. Okay, so we're gonna have a lot more of a traction footprint with this, and then again, it's fairly stable. Let's see if I can get a good. See, I'm pushing down. I'm really, I'm putting a fair amount of force on this thing. Let's do it with the non. Right, that's probably the same amount of force that I used, and this thing's all over the place. Whereas, yeah, much better, and you can squeeze this on the sides, and it feels very stiff sideways versus you get this just goes right in. This one is, I can't believe, and I can't believe how different this is. And this is the first time I've experimented with this. I've run maybe 3 different designs, 4 different designs. Okay, so, and I don't have one that's in the tire, which is printing, unfortunately, but it's similar to this, like I described previously. This is a Overture 95 TPU 95A. Okay, and I told you about the differences in the design. This is Ninja Tech Ninja Flex TPU, and I believe this is 85 or 75. And I trimmed the heck out of it because I had way too many spokes in here. You can see where I've cut away that spot and then inside, and I switched, which actually had a layer on the outside that was kind of sealed, and I had like maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 stages in here, whereas I went to three stages. This is much softer. I mean, you can crumple this up. I didn't like the way it was printing, and originally, before I had cut spokes out, it was too stiff. But I don't like the way the straight spokes feel, because they kind of push and then they buckle. They kind of give you a weird dynamic. It's not real smooth. See that? Like kind of snapping. Whereas I incorporated what I've seen online, some of these deflection initiators, or so when you push on it, it's just like automatically it's gonna give you a nice compression. Right. Versus even with these trimmed, and this is tough to see because of the white. This is way too soft. Here, I'll put a wheel in it. Alright, so I don't know if it comes across, but when you squeeze it, it kind of buckles and kind of gives real quick. I'm making that happen a little so you can tell. But this is just, there's not enough connectors either, so it squirms around like that. You don't want that to happen. You don't really have that on these. They just kind of buckle in. So that's those. This was something. This is, I didn't realize this was a much harder TPU than what this white stuff is. This Ninja Tech. This has got to be. I actually think this might be 95A, but the design. I designed it based on how this thing felt. So this thing's like a rock. I thought that this was gonna be like really supple, and the inner ring I wanted to be stiff. That might be still a little. That's probably. It is harder than this one, so that's too hard. And the walls are too thick. So it looks cool, but no good. Designing these foams is a little tricky. Like every tire is a little different. every wheel's a little different. So I'm just designing around what I have right now, and I imagine, there's probably a lot of wheels and tires that are the same, but I don't have that information. I'll have to start looking into that if I decide to make these for people. I might just make them for myself and friends to play around with. So, anywho, I can't wait to put these on my rig, see how they hold up. I know that some of these materials are temperature sensitive. I think probably this feels more like it feels more silicone-y. This feels more plasticky, and I imagine this one might hold up better durability wise, as well as maybe temperature stability wise. But I don't know, so I'm gonna just go with what I have and assess. Maybe give some out to some people to try. And if anybody has any more in-depth knowledge on this stuff, feel free to let me know. I'm just a newbie at this, but it's pretty cool, and it's neat to be able to make them, especially since there's so much variation in tire dimensions and wheel dimensions, that I don't really feel comfortable, and I don't want to be limited to what is on the market and what fits what tires. I want to be able to get whatever tire I want, make my own foam, anti-foam, and run with it. That's just kind of how I like to do things. So, that's about that on these tires. And again, these definitely, let's move these out of the way. These definitely, this is the anti-foam. This is the foam. It's similar, but I think the foam is stiffer. And obviously, you're going to get this sort of deal, right? You're going to be able to, if you're stuck, they're not going to break, but they're not going to hold their shape. I don't know how strong this sort of insert will be. I haven't really done any torture test. I don't want to break it. I don't think I can break it, considering it can do this, right, and just go right in the wheel, and I can pull it out. This stuff's real tough, real tough. Anyway, anti-foam, it has some give. You have to balance how much radial compression you want with how much side deflection you can take on your specific truck. And these are going to go on the Element Enduro Builder's Kit, V2 kit that I'm getting in a couple days. And I'm just going to see how they go there. They're 4.75 OD, if I hadn't said that. Well, it's what it says on the side is 4.7 by 1.7 by 1.9. And they're kind of a neat looking tire, so I like them. We'll see how well they do. Probably if I go and want to make this truck more of a crawler, I might just keep these for trailing and get something a little bit more stickier for a crawl. And we'll see how that goes. So, yeah, I think these are pretty handsome looking. They're not expensive wheels, but basically they are a solid billet, right? And then they have the groove around the perimeter for the bead to go into. You just stick it in, and then you just put these rings on, clamp them down. I do have a little dish of soapy water and a brush, kind of go around before I try to put them together to make them slip together nice so I don't get any pinches. That seems to work. Yeah, so this is kind of cool. If I can get something that works, I will be able to customize all my trucks in the future and hopefully help out anyone that needs it. bench is a little wobbly, see. Alright, well, thanks, and I'll see you next time with some printed parts to show, and hopefully I'll get them on the rig and we can do a demo. Alright, thank you, bye.